All right. This is going to be a druidic reading geared towards the four energies, the wands, which represents the fire, the cups, which represents the water, the swords, which represents the air, and the discs, or pentacles, which represents the earth. I say druidic. If I indeed end up posting this, let me just give the disclaimer. I do not say that in the sense of following the known and established rites of those who incorporate druidic practices all over the world. I say druidic because of the druids' ancient connections to ancient Egypt, the land of Chem, and further back than that. My own past and ancestry connects me to this in a druidic shamanic way, but everything here is entirely intuitive. What I've received, what I have explored, the practice that I have been practicing, began practicing and exploring about a year ago, and that has developed, and that I, again, assuming I post this, will be sharing here for the first time, and I'll probably be talking a lot about it. I'm not going to make, well, I don't know what I'll say. I may speak in words that are not understandable at some points, at least in terms of regular human speech in any known language, or at least accepted known language. That does not mean there's no meaning behind it, and I would suggest any such speech, you take it as it resonates. If there is meaning in it for you, then that is the meaning. And yeah, well, let's just get going here. Again, I'm not, well, that's what I was going to say. I'm not going to chant elaborate spells or liturgies or anything of that nature. This is a practice, and it is a practical, divinatory practice, and it is geared towards those who have concern for Gaia Mother Earth. She is not silent, she is speaking, and this is an attempt to listen and trusting that she is going to speak along with other energies. A particular energy that I am close to is that of Kernunos, the Horned One, often represented as the stag or the elk, but there's no particular deity here that this is concentrated on, other than to really listen in to what is the biosphere, which is the entire consciousness of all that is here on Earth, what we think of as the living, and also sometimes what we think of as the non-living. Even the rocks cry out. There may be some crossovers as well. That's a biblical verse, or at least an allusion to one in the Christian tradition, which I have come out of, and here I am. All right, let's get into this. There will be some working with the Futhark runes, and I will probably pull some tarot cards from a particular deck. It's a Lo Scarabeo deck, which draws heavily on the Futhark and other runes. And yes, let's get into this. We do have a sacred pyramid here. We have a nice sunny day. I should note that today is the new moon, the 9th of February in 2024. I almost said 2023. I'm still getting used to the number change to 2024. It doesn't matter to me all that much, except when it's required of me. But in any case, we do have the 4 directions here. I am facing east, and what I have received is that we start with the east, where the sun comes up. Too long has the world been a north-south world. How our days go is we wake up, the sun wakes up in the east, and it sets then in the west. We have the east, the cups, the waters. Again, this will not match some other practices and traditions. That is okay. That is specifically what I have received. We are to start with the heart. That is what we need today. That is what Mother Earth is asking for us to do, is to start with the heart. We do have the West. The West, of course, has come to symbolize technology and science and such. And that's why it comes second, not first. And not even really second, but we'll get to that. It does relate to our technology these days in a heavy way in this reading. We do have the South, represented here by this sandstone. The discs or the pentacles energy. This is grounding into a stable reality. The thoughts, the emotions, these things come and go. What we ground in is what stays, what persists generation to generation. And then we have the wands, the fire, the north. And here we realize then that it is the north, but it is above. And it is the south, but it is below. And we're living east to west. And we're grounding in below the energies from above. Okay? Let's get into the runes here. I do breathe on my runes. I breathe into the sack that holds them. This is me. How should I explain it? All of my intentions are going into this. And that is important here. This is a practice that maybe others will take for themselves at some point and do with it what you will, and as your intuition takes you. I have certain objects obviously scattered around, but I'm just going to go through and do what I do. And if others follow suit or alter to their own needs and what feels right to them, I think that would be good. I think the more of us who get in touch with what Gaia is trying to tell us, the better. So here we go. Spirit wants me to say that the breathing into the sac has much to do with the sense of the passing away of life, the spirit, the soul from the body. It is death energy, and death energy allows for rebirth energy. And so much of why our world is in trouble in the ways that it is in trouble, not that everything is awful, some things are good. Let's acknowledge that. Some things are way better than they've ever been. Other things, though, are really self-destructive, and we're losing our way in different ways. So, but until we let old things die, they sit, and they become, well, they're like zombies or animated skeletons that sit in that space and don't let anything living come in. And I mean, the Italian Marxist Antonio Gramsci has the best quote for this. The old cannot die and the new cannot be born, and that is what we are called by Gaia to do right now. What if our institutions need to pass away? We're propping them up. For instance, our money systems are being propped up. Maybe they need to die and something new come into place. And there's a lot of fear around this. But maybe that's what needs to happen. And it doesn't mean it's all going to be good. But we need to let some death energy in. We need to let some things pass away and have the courage that we have the fire to bring things down, to weigh them with our hearts and our minds and ground new things into earth that serve. Because many things no longer serve. Alright, I'm intending to pull a rune for each energy. And then I will pull some number for the pyramid at the center, which is the beyond. That's to allow for things to enter that need to enter. And I drop my runes, and some will then come in. What do I have? I have 4 or 5. I think one more. So a total of 7 runes. You may have glimpsed what some of them are already. I have not looked. I will be dropping the runes, and then we will read the upside down or Merkstave runes. I'm certainly not a terribly practiced reader of runes. I'm very intuitive, though, as I go, and I will follow my intuition with it, and I may look up a couple things. If I do, I'll probably stop the video and come back in. But maybe I won't have to do that. We'll see. And we will drop the runes over the pyramid, and we'll see where things lie, and we'll use that as part of our reading. Okay. And hopefully you'll be able to see all the runes. And a lot coming in upside down, Merkstave. Anything sideways, if I can see it, I will tend to think of it as right side up. So right away I see the Berkano and the Gabo, the gift, and the birch mother. So very fitting here for this reading. The birch mother, the birch goddess coming in, and nothing else came in. Nothing else came in upside down. Oh no, nope. We have the. No, I'm sorry. the Silvillo, the sun rune, coming in over here. Okay. Well, we're going to start in the east direction, okay? And then we'll go around, and I do want to, though, see what we have before I start reading. So, okay. So we have Manas, humanity, roughly speaking. The algae, I'm not surprised. And the Awas, or Avas. Elk energy, and energy of completion. And the Hagalas, the hailstorm. Okay. Let me sit with this for a couple of moments here. Alright, so again, we'll start with the east. And the first thing we have is this gift, this blessing. This is truly the sense of being gifted something that was not maybe deserved, was not earned for sure. It's a blessing. And I like that it came sideways, pointed at my line of sight, and also it's looking at the light coming in through the prism of the pyramid. So this is gift from above, and I have to say, on some level I know what this is, and it's literally what's coming down on me now. It is the sunshine. It is the solar energies, which right now are really powerful and have been since last summer. And one of the intentions of this entire practice is to call in the light. Just realized I forgot to put this on. We are calling in the light right now, and the light is coming in and awakening us. That is the gift, and it's in the direction of the cups. So it's certainly connected with us using that energy to get in touch with our intuition, our feeling, and trusting that, and not shying away from it, to see it like a gift. Even if it's showing us tough things, it's for us, and it's for our betterment, and that's all to the good. Again, we have the Manas. It's upside down, and that is somewhat in the easterly direction, but I'm going to wait and read that last, in that northerly direction. We have nothing that has fallen here to the south, and I read that as very much we're not doing the things we need to do. This is also a reading for those who connect with a certain energy more than others. I connect very strongly with the cups and the wands. Very strongly. I struggle a bit with the swords and the pentacles. They're not my strong suit, so to say. Grounding things in is tough. but it's what we need to do, and it's somewhere we're lacking. That's the message here. Sometimes a lack of a message is a message. In this reading, the lack of a message can be a message, and that is what I'm getting here. To the west, I want to first focus on the Sovilo, the sun rune, which, I mean, I've already referenced the sun, and when we bring this in, I mean, let me just kind of read this a little bit. Success, goals achieved, honor. Okay. We know we haven't had success. But life force, health, a time when power will be available to you for positive changes, and so on. It's the higher self coming in. A sense of spirit, of what things mean. When I say spiritual, very often what I'm really referring to is the meaning of things. That's a true spirituality, is about not shying away from what things really mean, right? So often religion codifies things and it loses what things mean, and it covers over what things mean, and we get awful things happening in the name of religion because of that. This is not about religion. This is a practice, and it is an open, intuitive practice meant to challenge. And yeah, here we have the challenge to engage with this solar energy. We're being gifted it. It's here. I like how it is facing, for me, this is a representation of the world tree. So what we're building together, what we're growing together, its roots, its, you know, its top branches, its foliage, the trunk in between, all of it. New shoots, old dead wood, all of it. So the sun is here. We have what we need. We have what we need, this is saying. And this is all taking place in the swords. So what is our conversation around things so much? We have a lack mindset, and Spirit prepared me to be talking about this. This is coming in earlier this morning. So we have everything we need to solve all our problems. We have all the resources, everything. And yet we have, you know, we're currently in the United States making scads more homeless people left and right. We're ruining our housing system, and basically just by our policies and because of inflation and people can't afford homes, we're literally just giving away at cheap prices most of our housing to a few big companies that are then gonna make us pay exorbitant rent because there's no housing. It's ridiculous. See, some of these things gotta go. Some of these are dead wood, and we will call those things out when they come up. And that's what this is about. But we actually have everything we need. We have all the people we need to build new houses. We got people sitting around who would like to have more work. We have resources. We have new ways of making things. Our technology is, you know, ascendant compared to anything in any human recorded memory. I won't say an unrecorded, or at least the very little that is hinted at in some old recorded history. So yeah, we have everything we need. No excuses is also then. But let's focus on the mindset part. When we have enough resources, but then we have people telling us, well, we don't have the resources to do that. No, we can't relieve people's debt who haven't been able to get jobs even though they went to school and went into debt for it because that's what they were told they should do. And it's not just a few people who were goof-offs. That's not it. It's literally hundreds of thousands and even millions of people in that boat in the United States. Okay, it's going to be real practical. We're going to get real practical here. Okay, again, what's grounded? What needs to be grounded? We've got some work to do in the heart-mind connection. That's what this is saying. That's what this is saying. And yeah. Mindset then. When we have a bunch of resources, but we play the beggar, claim we don't, or our leaders do, or those who are sort of farmed out to lead, because those aren't really the people making most of the decisions, but the people with the money behind the curtains, the people who've gathered all the resources, who could just solve all the problems, but aren't and won't. The leadership and the money interests behind them, who instead will pay all kinds of money to drop bombs and keep wars going. We're calling that out here. We're calling that out here. That has to change. We have what we need. The sun's shining on it. We can all see it. They can see it and they're worried about it. I guarantee you they're worried about it. This is a big year for it. It's a big year. Leadership change coming in the United States, which means the whole world is about to go through some kind of a shift. And so people in the United States, we have some decisions to make. And no, I'm not saying Trump is the one, and no, I'm not saying Biden is the one. I won't say RFK Jr. is the one. I don't know. I'm not going to go into that here, but what I'm going to say is something's got to change. And the leaders that we've had, and only one of the names that I just mentioned hasn't had a shot at it, so the other two have failed. One quickly and stupidly blundered the world into a mess, but at least now we can see the messes that were already there. He blundered so much. Let's face it, let's be honest. And the other is, a pawn, basically. Let's face it. Okay. And probably lost some people already with that, but there you go. I'm not a Republican and I'm not a Democrat. We do have the Algis, which is the elk rune. This is the masculine energy, energized to make changes, to make a difference, to fight when needed, to put up resistance, to stand in the way of anything that's damaging, and so on and so on and so on. And it came in upside down. And it's very here, over here with mindset. So this isn't talking about male, female, biologically. This is not talking about gender and people's gender identities. This is the masculine energy, which is the energy that receives and then goes out into the world and does things with what they have, right? Everyone has masculine energy. Everyone has feminine energy from this standpoint, okay? These are just words, and they're words that have grown out of a particular situation on a particular planet where a lot of species fall into sort of these masculine, feminine categories, and there are other places in the universe where those things don't mean as much. Here they mean something, we might better say polarity, and talk about the receptive polarity and the assertive polarity, right? The polarity that sits and waits versus the polarity that goes out and does things, right? The polarity that ponders and dreams up new things and makes plans, etc., etc. And then the energy that goes out and does those things, okay? Everyone has those energies. All right. And the Avas. Also upside down. And I think actually I'll read a bit of this one, because I think that will do better. And the symbol here is two horses yoked together. It's kind of that's what's happening, pulling as a team. Also upside down. So, can represent basically any kind of transport, movement, change for the better, gradual development, steady progress, teamwork, trust, loyalty, ideal marriage. An ideal marriage, say, between the feminine and the masculine aspects. perceiving for a while now that that is needed. It's needed within individuals, say within me, to work on that, to balance out those energies. It's needed. Got some confirmation there. This is important. Spirit is saying this is important. These energies need to be balanced out. We have a lack of trust. We have too much division. And again, where is it? Right in the swords, right in the air energy, right in the energy of our mind, our thoughts, our minds, our thoughts. Okay? So that's important here. And it's clearly upside down. It's clearly something we need to work on. This has to do with ideology. When we place ideology over heart, over what our intuition, our emotion, our sense of things, our just knowing of what's deep down, like this is not right or this is wrong, right? That all fits over here. Too many people are stuck in their heads, and they argue things on the internet that are just trivialities, really. When really this is a few things that matter, and we need to take care of those things. And let's take care of those things. That's what this is saying. It's so much simpler than what we make it. It's so much simpler. And we need to reject mindsets that say anything else, that lead us in any other direction. Okay? So let's move to the north. And I like to go in a line when it makes sense. Again, we have the Manaz, the humanity rune, and it's upside down. This is us. We have the Berkano, the birch goddess. This is, in this reading, this is literally Mother Earth saying, look, I'm here. You have everything you need, and also you have support from above. The ancestors are here. There's a sense here of practice. There's a sense here of calling us to practices that change humanity, that turn this rune back the other way. I don't want it to be upside down in the reading, but you won't be able to see it maybe. Yeah, maybe we should. We need to stand up. Sometimes the really practical things that we do are what open up the really fiery spiritual things that need to happen. The old cannot die and the new cannot be born. The new wants to come down. It wants to come down and be born and grounded into reality. That's what this is saying. And it's saying to seek out practices that encourage that, right? All right. So again, for folks who really are in touch with the spirit, with fire, the flower of the flame of the flower that is consciousness itself, right? Here, this is talking about exactly what I'm doing here, following those crazy impulses that aren't not crazy or destructive, but the things that we know we should do and we don't know how we know we should do it, but we should do it. That's what this is. So if you are particularly drawn to the wands, to the fire, that's your message. If you're particularly drawn to the air, to the swords, to the mind, look, mindset, let the sun shine in. Got some things we need to turn over and look at, change our mindsets about. If you are really concerned with the practical, clearly we're not doing enough. We're not doing what we should be doing. If you know what we should be doing, don't ignore. Just because you're very practical and you like things grounded in, don't ignore these other energies. How are you going to know what to do if you're not interacting with these other energies? How are you going to know? Right? Einstein's coming in here as like, how did I figure out relativity? I try to imagine, you know, the thoughts of God. That's fire. Like, science likes to think it's all over here. No, that's right here. That's right here. And why did Einstein care in the first place? Heart. So, balance. We need balance. And we got to bring this energy down and start doing things with it. Also, what I'm hearing is we know a lot of what we need to do. We're just not doing it. So if there's something that you have a passion for doing and acting on Earth, embodying in some way, just do it. Do it. Follow that impulse. Get in touch with your fire energy. Follow that impulse. Sometimes when we know what to do, we can ignore the cups. We can ignore the swords, the heart and mind. We don't have to have everything swirling all the time. Sometimes things can come just right down and we put them into place. And then back over to the cups energy. Look, there are gifts flowing in right now. There are gifts flowing in. Literally, the sun is at its most active time, you know, since like 11 years ago. And, oh, sorry, I can't sit that way for so long. And yeah, it's coming in. Now's the time. Now's the time. That energy means something. That energy means something. All right. I'm going to try and pull a few cards very quickly. This video is getting long. Maybe it needed to be for a first of this type of reading. Just going to see what general energy the cards have for us right now. I have the Two of Swords with the Tivas and the Isa. So overall, this card and also the Algiz in the middle. This card, the energy here is it's Algiz. It's who's going to stand in the gap. Who's going to stand in the gap? Who's it going to be? Who's going to get involved? Who's going to change their mind? Listen to their heart. Obey the impulses that they know they need to obey. Start grounding things in. That's mindset change. It's really being called out here. Okay, let's do some shuffling. I'm looking for a card here first for those who are in Cups energy. And if anything falls out, I will call that Pyramid energy. If something just falls out, it may or it may not. Okay. I didn't completely come out, but I have the Death card with, yes, the Ansus. The Ansus. Yeah. This is rebirth energy. This is Odin seeing with his eye, his far-seeing eye. This is all of his creatures around him ready to act, ready to go, ready to do. Again, this tells me there's support. There's support. Okay, but it lies in the death and rebirth energy, not in the trying to keep dying things alive. We've got to stop trying to keep dying things alive when maybe they need to die. Sometimes it's good to keep a dying thing alive. Sometimes that's heroic and noble. But sometimes things just gotta go. And it's okay. It's fine. That's part of this life on Earth. On what some call the Earth plane. This physicalized reality. Alright. Spirit says, let's get on with this. 4 Cups energy. We have the 4 of Cups. Nauthiz is coming out, which is a tough rune. It's a rune of trouble. We also have Sovilo combined with Nauthiz, is how I'm reading this. So this deck does combine runes, as that's how runes work. Others might read that differently, or it, yeah, that's how I'm reading it, is Sovilo with now these marks going through it. So there's trouble, but there's also sunshine. There's newness here, and it's the Four of Cups, which puts us in a stable place to think and dream. But also, our cups are just sitting here. They're not doing anything. More action coming. This isn't a stable situation. This cult needs to grow up and be nurtured. We've got new generations coming that need to be cared for. Action required. Those in the Cups energy, action required. Do something with this gift that's coming in. I'm going to go to the west, to the swords. And the swords also gets a Cups card. And this is why I like to do this, because Spirit can give the different energies messages, right? For the swords energy, we're being encouraged to get together, and this is, I've not been saying, this has been coming in since a year ago. Oh, there goes the wind. Thank you, wind. I love you. This has been coming in. There's various runes here, but the point of this is to get together. We need celebrations, we need togetherness, we need good times, we need to see that we do not have lack. We have everything we need. We have everything we need. That's what this is saying. And now the south. Strength. And I know what this is for. This is specifically for folks who are doing good work on behalf of Gaia Mother Earth directly. She's saying, have strength. Help is coming. Help is coming. You are so strong. So loving. Your love is your strength. And you're already grounding things into place. It's just that not enough of us are with you. Not enough of us are literally rolling up our sleeves and doing things like planting trees or going down to help in various ways down, with the rainforests, things that may need to be happening in our forests, say here in North America. Yeah, all of that. And specifically, I want to call out Paul Rizzoli and the Jungle Keepers. They don't have maybe the hugest footprint that I know of, or maybe they have the biggest one there is, but I don't know. All I know is I know they're doing good work, and they're doing practical work, and I see a lot of criticism of that practical work, and that's just, I'm just gonna say it, that's bullshit, y'all. No, what we need is more people working and doing those types of things, right? Look up the Jungle Keepers. The star for the north. This is our ancestors, y'all. I couldn't have picked a better card. This is our ancestors. Everyone who's come before, everyone who's lived on this planet, doesn't matter how deplorable you might think they were when they lived. Once we're out of here, we look back down and it all looks different. There's support. That's what this is saying. There's support. There's support for a different humanity. It's coming in. We can grow it. The Birch Goddess knows how. She knows what to do. Are we going to do it? We get to choose. And what we choose and what we ground into reality, that what we intuit and we care about and we ground into reality and we have the wisdom and the thoughts to do it. We get our heads together right. We overcome divisions. It's all here. It's all here. But are we going to do it? I can't do it. Not by myself. This is hopefully one small part. One last message here from from Spirit. Underneath, we have the Seven of Cups. Y'all, this is the new Earth being born here. If we'll let it. If we'll let it. And this is the Seven of Cups. And the Seven of Cups implies lots of things we can care about and deciding what's most important and making a choice. It's that next generation. It's the young generations. Some of them are already in the world and struggling because of the world we've built. That's it. That's it. Choices. We got choices. Time to start making them, and it isn't just one big choice. Like, do not get fixated on the United States election. Like, who's president? Is it going to matter? Sure. It's not the only thing. If you don't do anything all year and then you go vote in an election, it's not enough. It's not enough. This is calling us out. It's not enough. We've got to do more. We've got to refuse a world that doesn't look like this one. Okay? See if I can get that closer. I can barely see the screen. Hopefully you can see that. That little one, that's what we're bringing in. That's what we need to focus on. All right? Thank you for viewing. Thank you for giving a thought to this. And yeah, call in the light where you are. I invite you. Call it in, even on the darkest of days where it's cloudy. Call it in, let it flow through you, through your feet, through your hands, into the ground. Call it in. It will help. It will help you. It will help us all. That practice at least. Oh, you know what? I forgot. Spirit just reminded me. The Hagalas. Oops. I've probably been holding these so you can't see them. The Hagalas. This is the hailstorm. It was off by itself. Between the fire and the mind, we have the capacity to ruin this. That's what this is saying. We have the capacity to ruin all this. Alright? You've got to be mindful of that. I feel it's significant that that's where we're ending. Alright? Got to be mindful. It's not to be afraid, but we've got to be mindful. We've altered this world a lot. We got to own up to it, not be afraid of it, own up to it, and do our best. That's it. Do our best. If we do our best, Gaia says she's right here with us. She's ready to help. She wants us around. Period. Alright? Alright. Much love. All the light you can stand. Peace.